Good Monday evening. I'm Andy Choi in for Eric Frocky. First at 10, school closures, staff and program cuts. The Madison School Board looking to fix a $30 million budget hole for the next school year. And tonight, they are already ruling out options. The night team's David Douglas has more in a live report. David?
Andy, in the last 20 minutes, the board made a major decision to take most of the heavy-duty cuts administrators had proposed off the table. We've told you about the 4 tiers of proposed cuts. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. In the first tier, we're talking about making some clerical cutbacks and also some refinancing of debt. In the second tier, there would be an athletic ticket cost increase and a cut to some 9th grade sports. That third tier would mean some staff reductions and a cut to neighborhood center programs. In tier 4, that's the tier where there would be some schools that would close, 96 staff members would lose their jobs, and an elimination of school breakfast. Here's what happened. That tier 4, most of it, except for one thing, is off the table from here on out. The one thing that remains on the chopping block, or at least for some investigation, is the fate of instructional resource teachers. Those are teachers, Andy, who teach other teachers how to teach. There are 11.5 positions. Those remain in the balance. The board wants to take another look at those in the future. Anything that was in tier 4 that was also in tier 3 is also off the block in tier 3. School psychologists, school nurses, counselors, some of those things that existed in both tiers, if they are in tier 3 and also in tier 4, they're safe.
David, sounds like it was a decision they made after an evening of some really tough talk from parents and students.
I gotta tell you, Andy, it really was. And whether it was truly the temperature in the room or simply the subject matter, this was a very, very heated discussion. Some people said tonight we would be willing to pay more in taxes to avoid having to make do with less.
We're all together and we don't want this to get cut.
Like an overcrowded classroom, parents and students packed into this school budget meeting where the speakers were the teachers and the school board listened to a history lesson.
Many programs have been gutted. Classes have increased in size, fewer materials are available to the children, classroom support has disappeared, and our school buildings are not being maintained.
After $60 million in cuts since 1993, the community spoke up, saying students simply can't afford any more.
What we want is a vision, how we get and maintain the levels of education of not today that is not good enough, but 10 years ago.
About 30 people of the nearly 200 in attendance wore red T-shirts supporting Lincoln Elementary's open classroom program, targeted in the district's Tier 2 for cuts.
These teachers have been the second parent that my children have needed and whom I've been in partnership with for over 7 years.
We all want this to stay because we want other kids to experience what we have experienced. So I just ask you, please don't cut the OC.
Yet with the understanding some cuts might have to be made, this lecture sent the message, pay attention to who you will hurt.
When considering cuts, please pay attention to the needs of the most vulnerable students who need the most help.
And there was plenty of pressure on the board to work with state leaders to fix this problem, so we're not in this bind in the future. That will be a tough sell. The state has already proposed cutting education to local schools by 15% in its next budget year.
And as long as we've been talking about this, David, this process, just the beginning, correct?
It really is just the beginning. The board, Andy, has yet to see the proposed budget. All they've seen are the proposed cuts. They will see that budget on April 1st and hold a budget workshop on April 5th.
All right, David Douglas reporting live tonight. David, thank you very much.